I've been thinking that after little ghost here passes, I may get a rat. You know, you really should get them in like pairs or in groups of 3.
All right, you primitive.
Well, howdy, Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Holy smokes. If I am even shinier than normal, my sincere apologies. I started sweating hard, overheating just before I started recording, so I've been wiping the sweat that just suddenly appeared out of nowhere. It's gotten really warm, and I have not had a good night because of that. Holy smokes. It's a full big story, so let me just say right off, it was not a good night for sleeping, so thumbs up. But I survived, and if you're watching this, you've survived, and that's good, even if it's overly warm and humid, and I just suddenly burst out into, oil and sweat because of the heat. Anyway, though, front-loading of videos, hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that too would be awesome. If you could leave me... Oh, okay, folks, that happened to my vocal cords. Oof. If you could leave me a comment, that would be very, very cool. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people are literally beautiful and literally awesome. Holy smokes, without these people, I would be even more doomed than I am right now. I mean, the cost of living is outpacing my disability fast. I'm out of money, both regular money and electronic benefits for food. I have nothing that I can purchase to eat. Yay! And my arm was just cramping up all the way to the point of my thumb was cramped. My hand was cramping up by doing that. But as well, hey, if you'd like to become a patron, then there are links in the show more. And if you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there's a PayPal link. If you'd like to help me out without doing any of that, there is a link for an Amazon wishlist link with a whole bunch of stuff like cat food on it. Thank you very much. Front-loading of videos over. Sorry that took so long. I got distracted by the fact that my arm was cramping, which has to do with the heat, I think. Last night was not a good night for sleeping, as I mentioned. Holy smokes. I went to bed. I got into bed right around midnight. 1 o'clock, I was awake. I was both too hot and too cold at the exact same time. I just have a sheet and a fleecy blanket on my body. And on top of that, I have my sheet done so that my legs from the knees down are uncovered. I have a fan at the foot of my bed blowing onto me. I have a fan in my window blowing air in from outside. 1 o'clock, I woke up because, again, I was too hot. I had just that fleecy. It was up around my shoulders, and I was too hot. It was uncomfortable, and I was sweating because it was hot. And at the same time, I couldn't sleep because I was shivering from the cold. So I was sweating because I was too hot, while shivering because I was way too cold. I couldn't sleep that way. How can you be too hot and too cold at the same time? Well, I certainly was, because I was shivering because I was freezing and sweating because I was too hot. And of course, whenever I heat up like that, there's cramping in my lower extremities. Tonight, for the first night in ages, I was rolling over because I was uncomfortable because I was too hot and too cold. And from my big toe on my right leg up to my mid-thigh, my hamstring went and tried to cramp hard. So joy. I don't know what I'm going to do about the heat. I've got to try and get something I can take that'll make me sleep at night so I can, sleep. That would be good. This ties into the next thing, even though the next thing is all by itself as well. I have this bottle of atomoxetine, and this is my Strattera. It is a medication for ADHD and stuff. You may notice there's a hole in the side of this thing. The cap doesn't come off anymore. It's a child-proof cap, so you have to take it off in a specific way. 999 times out of 1,000, putting the lid on will be fine. You can't really see a difference in how the lid's put on, but it's not on right. It won't come off. It's screwed on and locked. So I had to dig open a hole in the side with my scissors to get the meds out. That was fun. And of course, may cause drowsiness. Oh, I'm already having trouble falling asleep during the day. I didn't know that this would cause drowsiness. Also raises your blood pressure though, which means I have to take half a tab of guanfacine, which is a blood pressure medication that tends to put me to sleep. But alcohol and marijuana may intensify this effect. Well, I don't drink alcohol anymore. I've been sober since 2000. I've fallen a few times, but I have always gotten back up. But marijuana can intensify this effect. Hokey smokes. I use cannabis for pain control. I smoke like a chimney all day. I wonder if that has something to do with my falling asleep during the daytime. I know it does, because when you take cannabis, you can have stuff like, they call it forehead anchor, where it's like you fall asleep, you know, your head's too heavy. Or you've got eyelid magnet, where your just eyelids want to snap shut. I have had times after smoking a pre-roll out on walkies where my eyes just wanted to shut while I was even walking. So that's fun. I'm gonna have to cough. I have been wheezing like an accordion all morning here. Oh, it's horrible. Just absolutely horrendous. It's very humid. It's getting warmer, so joy. Let's see, I also had something to talk about that had something to do with that, because I was just thinking about it. But hacking and coughing and wheezing and all that has driven the topic right out of my mind. It has to do with all health and such like that, you know. So, yay. Oh, one thing that I'm gonna call up the VA today because, you know, maybe TMI, but still. My urine has gotten much thicker since I've started taking Stutera. And I mean to the point that I'm actually kind of worried that maybe there's blood in it. So I gotta call up the VA and see what they're going to say to do. Maybe I'm gonna have to take another trip to the ER. Because if there's something bad going in my body where there's blood in my urine, that's not good. That's like bad in my bladder or bad in my kidneys, and I don't want either of them to be bad. So yeah, whole bunch of phone calls. Hopefully I'll get made today. I did go out on walkies as stated, and it was nice. It was a nice night. I got back and it was still kind of light, and it was closer to 9:30. So yeah, it's really staying light at night. Good thing on that. It can be fun. I need to take my camera out, but it's one of these older things and it's not a waterproof thing, so I can't take it out when it's like raining. Gotta love that. Still though, I have survived. I went on walkies and that was good, and I fell asleep a lot during the day yesterday, but at least I woke up enough, and that's a good thing. I have watched videos, I have listened to music, I have been horrified again by the news that once again, instead of living in a safe and sane country, I live in a slaughterhouse. So, I mean, I'm not the only one. If you're watching this, you know, predominantly I have United States viewers, which, you know, it's one thing. I don't want to have just a single demographic or anything. I want to have a worldwide appeal, even though I speak English and I'm an older white guy. So, but most of my viewers, of course, are from the US, and yeah, if you live here, you know about the latest atrocity in the latest list of atrocities. We're the only country in the world that has this problem with mass shootings on a daily basis, and we are told continuously that there's absolutely nothing that can be done to stop it. we're the only country in the world where this happens, because every other country where it's happened, they did something about it. But politics, etc., especially around this issue, I don't want to get involved with. I am so tired of living in a slaughterhouse. I am tired of living in an insane asylum. Any other country would almost be better. But there are other things that aren't bad in life. Like my little hamster is still alive, and my kitty cat, even though she's out in the hallway right now, is still alive and doing well. You know, I've been thinking that after little ghost here passes, I may get a rat. You know, you really should get them in like pairs or in groups of 3, so that they're not really colony creatures, but they do enjoy living in, you know, colonies, packs, just like people do. So it's best to get more than one. That's like if you get guinea pigs, you need to get more than one. They're herd creatures, and so when they're by themselves, they're not very happy. But I've been thinking about that. I've had rats in the past, and I've enjoyed them. They're very intelligent, very smart critters. Problem is, of course, they are constantly urinating all over everything. But past that, I mean, it's fine. It's a habit. It's one of those things that if you accept this type of animal into your life, then you have to accept this sort of thing that happens. If that's a hurdle that you can get over, it's not going to bother you. You're going to be wiping it up if you see that sort of thing, but it's not going to bother you. It's like the difference when working in a zoo and working in a not zoo. You know, when you're working around animals, you're going to get dirty. The kind of dirty you wouldn't get if you were not working around animals. And once it's part of your job, that's just accepted. It's not a big bad thing. It's just, hey, it's a thing. So that's just what I mean by that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little disjointed today because I haven't been able to sleep as stated. It is horrible, so likely I'm going to be falling asleep a lot during the day today. Because it is warm right now. I've got to turn my box fan over there on, and I got a box fan out in the hallway, and I got to get the door open so that there's mass airflow. I am dying of heat, and it's only 8 o'clock in the morning. I got it easy though. Things are mild here in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, in Texas, they've already had the power grid collapse a few times, even now. So, yay. Life is life. I mean, climate change. Nothing we can do about it except try to adapt. Yay. But on the creative front, I have been trying to do some thinking about that, and let me take a look and see what I've written. Largely, I don't have a ton. I didn't think of any one big thing when I was out on walkies last night. It was more disjointed, but more of a flowing disjointed. I wasn't just on this subject and then immediately going grr, and then on to a different subject, and this will sometimes happen. No, I was going, okay, I'm thinking about this for a while, and then drifting into this subject, and then following it for a time, and then just going off in this way. So I never really settled into any major form of thought to really go in depth and deep on anything. It was like, I'm trying to figure out the eventual story of what happens with the one character I have, the one cryptid type, the Bigfoot type, James Bakir, whom every 13th kind of cryptid, which the 13th kind of cryptid, there are 12 basic archetypes, but the archetypes are, people make categories. Reality doesn't. It's our method of putting things into little boxes. But there are 12 basic archetypes of cryptids, and then there's a 13th kind, which can come from any of the others. But this is the kind of cryptid that does not change when you become from human to cryptid. You keep your human mind, but it, of course, alters with the brain that you have for your new body. James Bakir was like 5'6". He is an affable, friendly fellow. After the expression of his cryptid genes, where he became a Bigfoot type, He's now like 6 foot something. He's big, bulky, hairy. That's not the body he grew up living with. He wouldn't be able to control that body easily with his brain. The new brain can. So your mind is about 95% what it used to be before the change. The other changes being, you've got a new body, you've got the new structures so that it works just like your old one with your old mind. So he's still a human being, but the 13th kind of cryptid, the difference in those is instead of being trapped in cryptid programming, you have your complete unfettered mind with no programming, but you can't just feed off the ambient background energy of cryptid energy as all the other cryptids do. 13th type can't. They're crippled that way. They have to get that energy by devouring human beings. And this is a horrific thing for them because their minds are largely unchanged. Imagine if all of a sudden you had to, at a random number, maybe 1, maybe 5 people a year, you had to kill and eat them. That would take a big toll on you, wouldn't it? Especially if it was just your doctor told you, you need to come in. We need to tell you something. You get there, then you're told. Okay, you've got to kill and eat people from now on. That's going to take a toll on you. Well, it takes a toll on all the 13th type of cryptids. About 2/3 of them take themselves out of the game of life within about 10 years. They just cannot reconcile what they're having to do to live with actually living. And James Bakir has got it hard. Most of the cryptids, well, his name is Jimmy Lane Baker, but that was when he was human and 5'6". His body is made out of even different material. He's not from our universe anymore. So he first tried to become James Bakir because he wasn't Jimmy Lane Baker anymore. But the thing is, he is and he isn't. He's a mix of both. He's not just this or just this. He's this. And he learned that. And he's trying to become James Bakir, the mix of the two. And that's hard because as stated, a lot of cryptids might only have to, devour entirely one human being every year. There's one cryptid I've got, Malik, who has to devour 2 or 3 every year. James Bakir has got to devour a human being every single week or he is going to starve to death. He's struggling hard to try and stay sane and normal with the horrible things that he has to do. Being a Bigfoot type, of course, all he has to do is unhinge his jaw, which unfolds, and then he takes large coconut-sized bites out of you. So you go pretty quick. Hopefully he kills you first before he starts to eat. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce or use a name, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count American Sign Language, well, you've already seen how my brain works on ADHD. Gotta love that. So we have Hanger 1800, thumbs up and thank you very much. There is Bosch, all that food, 50 pounds worth of food, it was delish. And we have Hanger 1800, thumbs up and thank you. Alessandria, thumbs up and thank you. There is JAYY, thank you very much. Utak is a good character. Jesse Koskinen, thumbs up and thank you, greatly appreciated and good to see you. Abstraction, thumbs up and thank you. I hope you continue to enjoy. Laguna Libre, thumbs up and thank you. And good to know. Thank you. Ape Acrobat, greatly appreciated. Hades Obsidian, thumbs up and thank you. Eric Southard, well, hokey smokes. I'm getting to enjoy seeing your name in the comments as well. Chaos Goddess, greatly appreciated. Sophia Williams, thumbs up and thank you. There is Skeet Scott, greatly appreciated. I try my best. Wesker the Baker, thumbs up and thank you. There is Shark. A lot of R's in there. Thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. Ben B, thumbs up and good to see you in the comments as well. Sebastian Demimonde, I am nowhere close on your last name, I bet, but thank you very much. There is Rubius Hog, thumbs up and thank you very, very much. And we have Marrow and Tallow, thumbs up and thank you very, very much. Walter Lipman, thumbs up and thank you. And Wasabi Covered Nuts, good to see you in the comments. Arctic Dragon 824, thumbs up and thank you very, very much for the information. Appleseed, greatly appreciated. Ice Damon, thumbs up and thank you. And actually, you know, for 26 there is Clem, and at 27 there is Marlon Wolfgang. Thumbs up and thank you. 27 people who actually left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciated. You get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people. And yeah, as stated, that is appreciated. Definitely. Well, hokey smoke. I got calls to make, and they are important because I don't want to die of like kidney cancer or kidney failure or like anything awful. I want to live for a long time, so I'm going to try and get some things done. Hopefully you can get the things done that you need to get done. And of course, with the covfefe bug surging and more people tossing themselves onto the corpse pile daily, please take the appropriate precautions for your area and situation. Get vaccinated, get boosted, do what you can. Don't toss yourself onto the corpse pile before it's your time. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and quite frankly, I do think that is, in fact, a very good idea.